So a lot of us have been experiencing lower than usual engagement on Instagram over the past couple months, and I've heard a lot of people speculating that there's been an algorithm change, and that's why people have such lower reach and lower engagement. Now, I don't have an inside look at Instagram, no matter how much people in my DMs seem to assume that I do. So I have no idea if they've changed the algorithm or whatever. But what I do know is it's really easy for us as creators to see a dip in our engagement or our reach and say, oh, it's an algorithm change, and blame Instagram. Now, there is a lot of stuff outside of our control. However, you can make a difference and increase your engagement if you implement a few simple strategies. So instead of fretting about an algorithm change, it's time to take some action and actually see some results. So keep on watching, because I am going to tell you how to increase your engagement on Instagram in 2020. The first thing that you need to do to increase your engagement on Instagram is start engaging with your existing audience. You can't just throw stuff out into the feed or your stories and expect that everybody following you is going to be excited about replying to you or commenting on your posts. You need to put out the effort there and go and meet them where they're at and show that you're interested in having a relationship with them. So the very first thing you can do is reply to every single comment you get on your post. That is a given. If you aren't doing that, start doing that right now. The next thing you can do is go to the profiles of people who have liked or commented on your recent posts and engage with their content. So what I like to do is just go to my post, click on the likes, and scroll through and just choose somebody to go and engage with. I'll like their 9 most recent posts, and then I'll pick one of those 9 to comment on. I'd recommend doing this several times, especially if you didn't get a ton of comments to reply to on your post. Go through and, engage with like 10 or so people that have liked your post. Because you've reached out and engaged with them, they're going to feel more of a connection with you, and they're more likely to actually take the time to comment on your next post. Another thing you can do is send a welcome message to your new followers. So go over to that notifications tab on Instagram, scroll through until you find your most recent new follower, and tap on their username. When you get to their profile, you can engage with some of their content, or you can also press the message button. You could send them a video message or a voice note or a little boomerang with you waving, or you can just write out a message saying, hey, I'm so glad you followed me. I'm glad we're connected. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you, or leave them a compliment about their content. Another way you can engage with your current audience is by posting content to your story that's interactive. So you could post a poll or a question box or one of those little sliders. And then after your story's been live for several hours, so maybe you check in the next day right before it times out, go to your poll and see who interacted with it. You can click on the results, go to the names, and engage with those people on their profile. So like some of their photos, comment on them, maybe even send them a message. Now, I know I'll probably get the same comments that I always do when I make these kind of suggestions, and many of you might be thinking, what if my follower has a private profile? I'll be honest with you, sometimes I run into this too. I don't run into it as often as other niches might, because I make content for creators. So many people who are following me are obviously going to have a public profile. But if you go to one of these people's profiles and it's private, move on to the next one. Just keep finding more people to engage with. When it comes down to it, there can be a lot of excuses as to why to not do this. And trust me, I have made them all, because it's super time consuming and it can be tedious. But it's so important to engage with your existing audience so that you can create that community feeling. And the more you reach out and engage with these people, they're going to be way more motivated to actually comment on and engage with your content. The second thing you need to do is engage with people who could become your followers. Obviously, it's important to have an engaged and interested community, but you also need to spend some time going outside that community in order to bring more people in. There are a few main things that you can do to make this happen. One is by browsing hashtags that are relevant to your niche and engaging with the people who post in those hashtags. Another thing you can do is go through the posts of really big influencers in your niche and reply to comments and have conversations with the people who are following that person. And another thing you can do is go through the tagged photos of those big influencers in your niche and see who's tagging them and engage with their content. These are all just different ways of finding people that might be interested in what you are posting. And whether you do it through hashtags, the tagged photos of a big influencer in your niche, it doesn't matter. The point is figuring out who you want to be following you, and then figuring out where do they currently hang out, what kinds of things are they interested in, Where can I find them? Now, I know this can be a lot to keep track of, especially at the volume that you need to be doing it in order for it to be effective. You can't just, once a week go in and comment on 2 different posts and expect that to have a big return for you. The key to this strategy working is just brute force spending a ton of time on it. And I know that can be discouraging to hear because you probably clicked on this video hoping for a quick fix or an easy hack, but the truth is, this shit just takes time. But there are ways you can be more efficient with it, which is why I'm so excited to introduce you to today's sponsor, which is $80.com. Now, before you skip forward, because I know how we all are with YouTube brand deals, you're gonna skip the next minute, but you don't want to, okay? Because when $80 approached me, I was so impressed by their strategy, their mission, and their software that I knew I had to share it with you guys. And I have been using it myself and I have become obsessed with it. Now, I'm sure you've heard of lots of different softwares that promise Instagram growth. And let's be real, 99% of them are super spammy. They use bots or automation to automatically like photos for you, automatically comment on photos for you, or get you like spammy followers. That is not what $80 is doing, which is why I love them so much. This is the first Instagram growth software that I've ever come across that actually helps you create an authentic audience that truly is interested in what you're posting about. $80 does not like posts for you, does not comment on posts for you, and it does not get you a bunch of bot followers. Instead, what $80 does is it provides a structure and a strategy for you to engage with other real people and then eventually get them interested in your own content. So all of the engagement that you do through $80 is your own engagement and it's genuine. Essentially, what you can do is sign up for $80. There's a free version. You connect your Instagram account to their platform, and then you start selecting hashtags, locations, and other profiles that are relevant to your own. So you can pick up to 10 hashtags that are relevant to your niche. If you want some suggestions and strategy on how to figure out which hashtags to choose, I actually have a video all about hashtag strategy that I would recommend you checking out. If your account is location dependent, you can pick some locations, and I would recommend picking a number of profiles of the big industry leaders in your niche, the big influencers that your content is similar to. Once you've input that information and you go to the post section of $80 will have created a whole selection of high quality relevant posts for you to go and engage with. The nice thing about this is it's not just a complete stream of whatever is in the hashtag. These are the posts that are created by real people that have written real captions and actually want engagement. But at the same time, they usually have between, 100 and maybe 1,000 likes. So they aren't like super huge accounts that are never gonna see your comments anyway. It's perfect. It's like $80 is helping you select your ideal potential followers. Then it's up to you to go through all of these photos and leave a meaningful comment. I always recommend commenting something 4 words or longer. Actually read the caption, try to connect with the person, and say something, nice in the comments. And $80 tracks your progress and lets you know when you've completed your comment goal for the day. Now, you might be curious where this whole $80 thing comes from, and if you haven't been in the world of social media marketing on YouTube, then you may not have heard of Gary Vee. Gary Vee is a very famous creator in the world of online marketing here on YouTube, and he coined the $80 strategy. Reading from $80's website now because I kind of forgot how this all added up, but apparently Gary Vee suggests leaving your 2 cents, aka your opinion, on 9 posts for 10 different hashtags. So 2 cents times 9 posts times 10 hashtags equals $80. Honestly, this is really similar to my 10 by 10 strategy, which if you've watched my videos for a while, you may have heard me mention, which is essentially commenting on 10 posts in 10 different hashtags. So that equals actually leaving 100 comments a day. It's a lot. I'll admit it is a lot. But anyway, $80 is just kind of Gary Vee's way of saying it, and that's what this company is named after. The point is, this provides a really fun and effective way to do your, what I call external engagement. And having a progress bar is really motivating because when you just sit down to do it on your own, it can be really easy to lose track, lose motivation. Whereas now I just keep $80 open in a tab on my laptop all day, and when I have a couple minutes here and there, I'll go in and comment on some more posts, and then hopefully by the end of the day, I have my bar full. So once you've engaged thoroughly with your existing audience and with your potential audience, all that's left to do is ensure that the content that you're making is actually worth engaging with. It's wonderful to spend all this time community building and in conversation with people, but at the end of the day, if you don't have content that is worth leaving a comment on, people are still not going to be engaging with you. You've got to experiment with different topics, formats of posts. If you haven't tried Reels before, make a Reel. If you've never posted a video, try posting a video. Write longer captions, write shorter captions. Try all these different variations of how to make effective Instagram content and then analyze your results. Choose something you want to experiment with, make those kinds of posts consistently for at least a month, ideally 3 months, and then after that test period, go back and look at your insights and see which posts perform the best. The data is not going to lie. At the end of the day, the kinds of posts that you make that get the most likes will probably continue to get the most likes. So if you can make more posts like that going forward, you're going to see your engagement go up. So to summarize, to increase your Instagram engagement this year, there are 3 main things you have to do. Engage with your existing audience, spend time building relationships and community, engage with your potential audience, go out into the world and find your ideal follower where they're hanging out right now and spend some time making friends with them. And 3, make sure that you are making content that is worth engaging with by running experiments and analyzing your insights. And if you want to check out $1.80, which I definitely recommend you do, I'll have a link in the description where you can go and sign up for free. Hey, Editing Katie here, just jumping in to tell you 2 very important things. Number 1, right now you can get a free month of $1.80 premium by using the code OctoberGrowth from now until the end of the month. So make sure you go sign up now, get that free month. And number 2, there's this very cool new feature that is called groups. And once you sign up for $1.80, you can search for my group, which is called Creator Club. Just go to the group section, type in Creator Club, and you will find it. You can join my group and we can keep each other accountable on our Instagram engagement. If you want to learn more about engaging on Instagram and how to actually grow your following by using more engagement strategies, check out this playlist that I made all about Instagram engagement. I think you're going to find it helpful. Before you head over there though, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. As always, thank you so much for watching and I will see you over in this playlist. Okay, bye.